Hello students, in previous lecture we have seen Lagrange's theorem. So what is Lagrange's theorem? Let G be a finite group and H is subgroup of G, then order of subgroup divides order of group, which is the Lagrange's theorem. And also we have seen if G be group of order prime, then it is cyclic, right? So let's see the examples. Group of order 4 3, group of order 4 3 has no proper subgroup. Group of order 43 has no proper subgroup. So here order of group is 43. Here order of group is 43. Then by Lagrange's theorem, so Lagrange's theorem says that order of subgroup must divide order of group. So order of subgroup divides order of group. That is, so here I will take order of H divides order of G. So here order of G is 43. Therefore, what will we get? Order of H divides 43. Therefore, it is only possible that, so here 43 is prime number. So therefore, order of H is equal to 1, or order of H is only 43. Order of H is equal to 43. So here order of H, which is only identity, and order of H is equal to 43 means which is same as order of group G, means H and G will be same. So these are trivial subgroup. So there is no any proper subgroup which is subset of G. So here only two subgroup which is trivial. So there is no proper subgroup, right? So order of H is equal to 1 or order of H is equal to 43. That is, H is equal to identity and H is equal to G only, which are trivial subgroup and which are trivial subgroups of order 1 and trivial subgroups of order 1 and order 43 of group G. Hence, group of order 43 has no proper subgroup. Hence, group of order 43 has no proper subgroup. Right? In previous lecture, we have seen order of subgroup divides order of group. Now let's see another theorem. Order of an element of finite group divides order of the group. So let's see the theorem. The order of an element of finite group divides the order of the group. Now we will prove this result. So let's see the proof. Now let G be group of finite order. We have given G be finite order. G be group of finite order and H be subgroup, and let H be subgroup generated by A. Therefore, what will we get? H is equal to generator A. So H is subgroup generated by A, means A generates subgroup H, means order of H and order of element will be same, because A generates whole group H. So number of element in subgroup, which is the means number of element in subgroup H, which is same as order of that element A. Then we know that, then we have, because which is cyclic group, and we have the definition, A generates whole group H, means what, order of H is same as order of A, because suppose we have group Z4 has elements 0, 1, 2, 3, right? So I will take A is equal to 1, then therefore Z4 is generated by 1, means what, here if I generate this group by 1, then we will get elements. So first 1, if I add 1 times, if I add 1 2 times, then we will get 2, if I add 1 3 times, then we will get 3, if I add 1 4 times, then we will get 4, and modulo 4 will be 0. So there are, in Z4 there are 4 elements, so order of 1 will be 4, because 1 raised to 4 is equal to 0, so order of 1 is 4, so order of H is same as order of that element. So here we will get order of H is equal to order of A, right? So, and we know that Lagrange's theorem, order of subgroup must divide order of group. So here, then by Lagrange's theorem, order of subgroup divides order of group, So therefore we will get order of H divides order of G. But what we have, order of H is same as order of A, order of H is equal to order of A, means we will get order of A divides order of G, means order of an element divides order of group. Hence the proof, order of an element of finite group divides order of group, divides order of group. So this is the theorem, and hence the proof. Now next we will see examples from exercise. Let's see. Let H be subgroup of a group G and G belongs to G. Define a one-to-one map of H onto G. So this is H onto G. Prove that your map is one-to-one and onto. So let's define the map which is from H to HG. So let define phi G map which is from H onto HG, defined by phi G of H is equal to HG. So for all this H belongs to capital H and small g belongs to capital G. So to show that this map is 1 1 and onto, so suppose if phi G of H1 is equal to phi G of H2, then we have the value of this, so we will get H1G is equal to H2G. So by cancellation law we will get H1 is equal to H2. So here we have phi G of H1 is equal to phi G of H2, and finally I get H1 is equal to H2, means what, phi G is one-to-one map. And now to prove phi G is onto, now for all HG belongs to HG, then there exists H belongs to H such that phi G of H is equal to HG, means what, in HG has pre-image in H. Therefore, that is, for all HG belongs to HG has pre-image in H. Therefore we say that phi G is onto map. So here this is defined by phi g from H to Hg, which is both 1 1 and onto. Now let's see another example. Let H be subgroup of G, H be subgroup of G such that subgroup of group G such that G inverse Hg belongs to H for all G belongs to G and all H belongs to H, show that every left coset GH GH is same as right coset HG. GH is same as right coset HG. That is, we have to show that GH left coset is equal to right coset. Now what we have given here, HB subgroup of group G. So GB group and HB subgroup of G, and we have given G inverse HG belongs to H for all G elements are from group G and H are from subgroup H. So to show left coset and right cosets are equal, so it is sufficient to show that GH is subset of HG and HG is subset of GH. Then finally from these two conditions we will get GH is equal to HG. So let's see. So given H is subgroup of G such that G inverse HG belongs to H. So here we have this condition, G inverse HG belongs to H. So for all G belongs to G, and we have to show that it is subset of each other, or we have to show that GH is equal to HG by showing that each coset is subset of the other, showing that each coset is subset of the other. Means here if we have to show A is equal to B. Now to show two sets are equal, so it is sufficient to show that A is subset of B and B is subset of A. Then we say that A is equal to B. So we will show here GH is subset of HG and HG is subset of GH. Now let's see. So I will take here, we have to take element from GH. Now I will take GH which is belongs to G capital H. So I have taken element GH which is from GH, where G is from group G and H is from subgroup H. So I will adjust. So here GH can be written as GH G inverse G. So here I will adjust G inverse G because both will cancel, so only remain GH. So this can be written as, so I will replace G by G inverse. So we will get in this case G inverse of inverse into H G inverse bracket into G. So here since H be subgroup of G and G belongs to G, that implies G inverse also belongs to G because G be group, so inverse of element exists, G inverse also belongs to H. So H is subgroup and we have the condition G inverse HG belongs to G, G inverse HG belongs to H. So I will replace G by G inverse in this equation. So we will get G inverse of inverse H G inverse also belongs to H, right? So here this element belongs to H and G as it is, right? So this element also belongs to HG. So here I have taken GH belongs to GH, G capital H, and finally I get GH belongs to HG, means GH is subset of HG. Therefore, so here GH belongs to HG I have taken, and finally I get GH belongs to HG. So we will get GH is subset of HG. So this is equation number 1. So because this condition G inverse of inverse H, G inverse belongs to H, and so this element belongs to HG. Now next I will take element from HG and we will show that HG is subset of GH. Now let HG belongs to HG, where G belongs to G and for all H belongs to H. Then I will write HG, it can be written as, or I will write here G into G inverse. I will adjust G into G inverse, which will be identity into HG. So it can be written as G outside G inverse HG. So here G, so this element belongs to, so G as it is, and this element belongs to H, because G inverse HG belongs to H, so this belongs to GH, since G inverse HG belongs to H. So that's why this inverse G as it is, so G inverse HG belongs to H. So here I have taken HG belongs to capital HG, and this will again belongs to GH, means what, here we will get HG is subset of GH. So this is equation 2nd. So from equation 1 and 2, here we see that GH is subset of HG and HG is subset of GH, means both must be equal. So from equation 1 and 2, from equation 1 and 2, we get GH is equal to HG. Hence the proof. So if H is subgroup of G such that G inverse HG belongs to H, then we will get left coset and right coset will be equal. Let's see another example. Show that if a group G, show that if a group G with identity E has finite order n, then A raised to n is equal to identity, for all A belongs to group G. So let's prove A raised to n is equal to identity when if group GB group with identity E has finite order n. So let's prove this. So we have given, let order of G is equal to n and A belongs to group G. Suppose I will assume order of A is equal to K, that is which is order of A. Then by theorem, what we have, order of an element divides order of group. Order of an element divides order of group. So here order of an element will be K, and which divides order of group, which is n. Then what will we get? So order of A divides order of G. So order of A is K, so K divides n. Then by using definition of divisibility, there exists an integer m such that then we will get n is equal to K into m for some K, for some m belongs to set of integers. So here n is equal to K into m. So I will write a base. So A raised to n, then A raised to n is equal to A raised to K into m. So we will get A raised to K raised to m. So here A raised to n. Now we know that order of A is equal to K. So what we get? Now order of A is equal to K means what? A raised to K is equal to identity, because we know that we have seen example in Z4 we have seen 0 1 2 3. So 1 raised to 4 is equal to identity, because if I add 1 4 times then we will get identity. So order of 1 is 4. So here a raised to k is equal to identity, means what, order of a is k. So here we see a raised to k is equal to identity, therefore here we will get e raised to m. So identity raised to any power is again identity. So here a raised to n is equal to e raised to m. So we will get identity. Therefore we will get a raised to n is equal to identity. Hence the proof. Now let's see another example from exercise. So let G be group of order p into q, where p and q are prime numbers, where p and q are prime numbers. Show that every proper subgroup of G is cyclic. Show that every proper subgroup of G, every proper subgroup of G is cyclic. So let's prove this. So as we have given order of G is p into q, where p and q are prime. So order of G is equal to p into q, where p and q are prime numbers. Then we will use Lagrange's theorem. Here order of G is p into q, where p and q are prime numbers, and we have to show that every proper subgroup of G are cyclic. Then by Lagrange's theorem, order of subgroup divides order of group. Order of subgroup divides order of group. So here we will get order of H divides order of group. So order of G is p into q. So here we will get order of H divides p into q. Therefore possible orders of H are, then possible orders of subgroups. So order of H must be 1 p q or p into q. So here p into q are the possible orders. So here 1 and p into q are the trivial subgroups. So what are the proper subgroups? So order of H is equal to p and order of H is equal to q are the proper subgroups. Now to show these are cyclic subgroups. So but order of H is equal to 1 means what? H is equal to identity, and order of H is equal to p into q. Then we say that order of, so here H is equal to G are trivial subgroups. Therefore proper subgroups will be, hence order of H is equal to p and order of H is equal to q are proper subgroups. And we know that order of group G is prime, then it is cyclic. So here order of H is p and order of H is equal to q. So both are prime. So here this is H1 and this is H2. So both are cyclic, right? So here we say, and we have group of order prime is always cyclic. Group of order prime number is always cyclic. So here we get both order of H is p and order of H is equal to q, both are prime. So here which is cyclic, hence it exists two proper cyclic subgroup. Hence it exists two proper cyclic subgroups, cyclic subgroups of order P and Q. So it has two proper subgroups of G which is cyclic. Let's see another example from exercise. Find all cosets of the subgroup. Find all cosets of the subgroup generated by 2 of Z12. So here we have given H is subgroup generated by 2 and G is group which is Z12. So H is generated by 2, so H has element, so generated by 2 is equal to, so here operation is addition because Zn is additive group, so I will generate by 2, so I will add 2, then we will get, so first 2 I will add 2 one time, then we will get 2, so I will add 2 times, so we will get 2 plus 2 will be 4. Next I will add 2 3 times, so 2 plus 2 which is 6. Next 4 times we will get 4 8. If I add 2 5 times, then we will get 2 plus 2 5 times we will get 10. Next if I add 2 6 times, then we will get 12, and 12 modulo 12 will get 0. So if I generate H by 2, then we will get total 6 elements which are 0 2 4 6 8 and 10. So here H generated by 2. Now so which is same as left coset of H containing 0, because we have, so its distinct left cosets are A plus H. Now for A is equal to 0, we will get in this expansion, so A plus H, so I will put A is equal to 0, then 0 plus H will be, so 0 plus H has element 0 2 4 6 8 10, so if I add 0 in that set, we will get again same 0 2 4 6 8 10. Now this is the left coset containing 0, which is left coset containing 0. Now next I will put A is equal to 1, so we will get 1 plus H which is equal to, so here I will add 1 to each element of that set H, so 1 plus H, so 0 plus 1 will be 1, so 2 plus 1 3, 4 plus 1 5, next 6 plus 1 7, 8 plus 1 9 and 10 plus 1 11. Now this is the left coset containing 1, Now if I put A is equal to 2, then again we will get 2 plus H which is equal to, so I will add 2 plus in set H, so H has element 0 2 4 6 8 10, so in each element I will add 2, so 0 plus 2 will be 2, 2 plus 2 4, 4 plus 2 6, 6 plus 2 8, 8 plus 2 10 and 10 plus 2 12, and 12 modulo 12 will be 0, so which is same as again H, right? So this is H, so this element and this element same, means if I take again A is equal to 3, we will get again 1 plus H, means I will get repeated cosets. So total there are 2 different cosets. So here after taking A is equal to 3 and so on, so we will get repeated cosets. So there are 2 different left cosets. There are 2 different left cosets which are H, 0 plus H means H, 0 plus H is equal to H itself and 1 plus H. So 0 plus H means same as H and 1 plus H are 2 left cosets. So we know that if group is abelian, then left coset and right cosets are equal. So H means here I will write it as H plus 0, which is left coset and right cosets will be same, and 1 plus H can be written as H plus 1. because G is abelian. Now let's see another example. Find all cosets. Find all cosets of the subgroup generated by 4 of Z12. Now again in this example, here H is element, H is subgroup generated by 4 and G is Z12. So here H generated by 4, so we will get after adding these 4 we will get, so 4, if I add 4 one time then we will get 4, if I add 4 two times then we will get 8, if I add 4 3 times then we will get 12, and 12 modulo 12 will be 0. So H has only 3 elements, so H is equal to 0, 4, 8. So to find out left cosets, now so its distinct left cosets are, so its distinct left cosets are A plus H. Now for A is equal to 0, we will get 0 plus H is equal to H, because if I add 0 in the elements of H we will get H. Now for this is the left coset containing 0. Now for A is equal to 1, so we will get A is equal to 1 plus H. So I add 1 in the elements of subgroup H, so we will get 0 plus 1 we will get 1, 4 plus 1 we will get 5, 8 plus 1 we will get 9. Now again, so this is the left coset containing 1. Now for A is equal to 2, then A plus, so 2 plus H is equal to, so I will add 2 plus H, so 0 plus 2, 2, 4 plus 2, 6, 8 plus 2, 10. Again for A is equal to 3, we will get 3 plus H is equal to, we will get 0 plus 3 will be 3, 4 plus 3 will be 7, and 8 plus 3 will be 11. Now if I take A is equal to 4, then we will get 4 plus H. So I will add 4 in this set H. So 4 plus 0 will be 4, 4 plus 4 8, and 8 plus 4 will be 12, and 12 modulo 12 will be 0. So here we will get repeated elements. So here 4, 8, 0, which is here again 0, 4, 8. So which is same as H, means if I take A is equal to 4, 5, 6 and so on, then we will get A plus H is repeated cosets. So there are how many different left cosets? So here 0 plus H means H, 1 plus H, 2 plus H and 3 plus H are different. So here 4 plus H is same as H, means what? We will get repeated cosets. So here there are 4 left cosets. So there are 4 different left cosets, 4 different left cosets, and which are, that is 0 plus H, 1 plus H, 2 plus H and 3 plus H, because they forms partition. So union of these sets will be whole set Z12 and intersection will be identity, because there is no common element. So here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So these are all elements of Z12. There is no common element. So intersection between these any two will get 5. So these are the 4 different left cosets. So group is abelian. So left coset and right cosets are equal. Okay, we will stop here. Now in next lecture we will see index of subgroup H in G. Thank you.